Most people don't struggle with decisions. They struggle because they don't have clear criteria. Your values are those criteria, because once your values are clear, decisions get simpler. I'm Manu Marcel Moenhoff. I've lived and worked in 7 countries. Building a global life and career abroad, I had to take many decisions. Career moves, relationships, where to live, what to spend my time and energy on. Every time I said yes to something, I had to say no to many other things. I often struggled with clarity in my life, and honestly still do so occasionally. I often jumped right into what everyone talks about. Goals, new resolutions, and so forth. While it was rather easy for me to set small goals, I struggled with creating my own bigger picture, my North Star. Through trial and error, I discovered I do not know the right answer because I do not know what matters most to me. I needed to dive one level deeper, finding out what sits at the foundation of all. My life values. They sit at the core of everything else. Purpose, goals, and habits. This process took me a while and was not easy, but it was worth the time and energy invested. In this video, I will guide you through the process so that you can benefit from my trial and error. How to identify your top 5 life values and turn them into a decision foundation. First, a quick distinctions. Values are directions. Goals are destinations. A goal is get promoted, move to a new country, buy a house. A value is how do I want to live my life while I'm doing all of that? Values are not a trophy. You can't complete them. You practice them in small actions repeatedly. And this matters because goals change, life change. But value can remain stable as your compass. Here's my method. I use the value pyramid. You start with a list of values. You pick your top 20. Then you narrow down to your top 10. And finally, your top 5. This narrowing down is very important and the hardest part, because values only become useful when they are prioritized. With my PDF, link in comments, you already have a list of 8 values in different categories. But feel free to search the internet or use LLMs to find additional values. Important is that you understand them and that you can differentiate the values. Some appear similar on first sight, but once you dive deeper, you understand the differences. Now, before you pick anything, one rule. Choose values that feel true, not values that you think you should have. It's not about judgment, it's about clarity. Let me show you an example using my own pyramid. Start at the bottom, top 20. These are the broad candidates. You're basically saying, these important things matter to me. Notice how I group them according to their category. This helps you to understand which category is of priority to you. Move up to top 10. Now it gets real. You can't keep everything. You're forced to make trade-offs. And that's where clarity appears. And at the top, the final 5. This is the hardest part. Expect that it will take time and mental energy to arrive on your final 5. These are the non-trivial priorities, the things you want to protect even when life gets busy and messy. When you are stuck, ask which value, if honored, would automatically support the other. In my example, the final 5 are self-discipline, autonomy, challenge, zest for life, and mastery. To be able to prioritize, I ask myself which of the values is a root, which one is a result. Example, health is extremely important to me because it's a foundation for everything in life. I believe most aspects of health are in my own power, but few are not. Therefore, health did not make it to the top 5, but self-discipline did. Self-discipline is 100% in my own hands. If I am self-disciplined and follow a healthy lifestyle, I increase my chances of enjoying good health. Besides, self-discipline enables many of the other top 10 and top 20 values in consequence. Same for success. Success is important to me, but it's important to me to reach success through mastery, not through cunning or illicit means. Another one is challenge and learning. I enjoy both. I found that Zest for Life, with its focus on a positive attitude and enthusiasm for discovery and instructive experiences, acts as a gateway for lifelong learning and joyful challenges. Now I'll walk you through the exact steps so that you can do it yourself. Step 1. Pick your top 20. Give yourself 10 to 15 minutes. Move quickly, don't overthink. Practical test. If you lost this value tomorrow, would you feel like you lost something essential? Another test. When you live this value, do you feel more like yourself? Write your top 20 in the base tier. Group the values according to their categories. Step number 2. Reduce to top 10. This is where you must force real choices. Take 2 values and ask yourself, if I could only keep one for the next year, which one would I keep? Do that until you are at 10. And when you're stuck, ask, which value, if honored, would automatically support the other? Step number 3. Reduce to the final 5. Same process, but harder trade-offs. Every time you say yes, you must accept a no to many other options. At this stage, use a conflict test. Imagine 2 values collide. Which one do you want to win more often? Because real life will contain conflicts. If everything always fits, your values aren't doing any work. And this process might take a while. You can also stretch it over 2 or 3 sessions, allowing your mind to breathe in between. After you have arrived on your final 5, the important part is still missing, and most people skip that. They pick values and then they do nothing with them. You need to establish your values as a decision filter. Whenever you make a major decision, ask yourself, 1. Which value does it honor most? 2. Which value does it compromise? 3. What would future me respect? 4. What would I regret not doing? And 5. What is the smallest aligned next step? This last one is important. It turns thinking into clarity and clarity into action. The point is, the decision becomes yours instead of reacting to social pressures. If this exercise helped, save your values somewhere visible. A note on your phone, a card in your wallet, or a page in your notebook. Because values only work when you remember them before the moment passes. As Roy A. Disney said, when your values are clear to you, decisions become easier. Try it. Download the value pyramid. The link is in the comments, and identify your life values. If you want, you can share your top 5 values in the comments. And if you found this useful, subscribe to more practical tips for building a fulfilling global life and career. And happy decision making.